Before this story begins, let me tell you what it is about. It is about a night when I woke up and realized something had moved in my room. Not furniture. Not objects. Something subtle. The air felt different, heavier, colder, like someone had been breathing while I slept. I told myself it was imagination. Dreams linger. Nightmares distort perception. That happens. But as I lay there, staring at the ceiling, I noticed something strange. The blanket was not how I left it. I always sleep with it pulled up to my chest. That night it was lower, folded slightly, as if someone had adjusted it. My heart tightened. No. Impossible. I live alone. No visitors. No roommates. Just me. I sat up slowly, listening. Silence. Good. Nothing. I told myself to relax. Small changes happen. Humans forget details. That happens. But then I saw it, on the pillow beside me. A faint impression, like someone had rested their head there. The fabric was slightly indented. Warm? I touched it. Cold. Not the normal temperature of cloth. Cold, as if recently touched. My stomach dropped. I laughed nervously. Bad joke. Night hallucination. That happens. The human mind plays tricks in low light. I forced myself to breathe. In. Out. In. Out. It would pass. Morning would fix it. Sunlight makes things ordinary. But the feeling remained, someone had been in the room while I slept. Watching. Waiting. I looked around. Nothing moved. No shadows. No sounds. Yet the air still felt wrong. Heavier. I swallowed hard. This couldn't be real. I had locked the door. I always lock it. Safety matters. Boundaries matter. But evidence existed, the blanket, the pillow, the impression. Someone had been here. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you. I stared at the pillow, trying to convince myself it was nothing. Imagination. Fatigue. Sleep deprivation. That happens. I lifted the blanket carefully, inspecting the bed. No other signs. No stains. No items out of place. Just the subtle indentation, a reminder that someone, or something, had been there. I backed away slowly, heart racing. My mind scrambled for logical explanations. Maybe I had shifted in my sleep more than I realized. Maybe I imagined it. But the coldness lingered, unnatural, impossible to explain. I walked to the door, double-checking the lock. Solid. Secure. Good. That meant safety. Right? I tried calling a friend. Phone had no signal. Perfect timing. I cursed under my breath. That happens. I paced the room, thinking. The apartment felt different, altered, like it had expanded and contracted while I slept. I shook my head. No. Impossible. Logical reasoning must prevail. I would ignore it. That was the plan. Attention gives power to fear. But the air remained heavy. Dense. Pressing against me. I approached the window, hoping for sunlight, or at least the comfort of the night sky. Outside, darkness stretched endlessly, unbroken by streetlights or passing cars. The city seemed quiet, too quiet. I shivered. Then I heard it, a faint noise from the corner of the room. Not tapping. Not breathing. Something subtle. Something deliberate. I froze, eyes wide, scanning the shadows. Nothing. Yet the sensation remained, watching, waiting. My stomach twisted. I needed light. I needed reassurance. I turned to the lamp. Dead. The bulb burned out? Unlikely. Too perfect. I whispered to myself, morning will fix this. But I knew deep down it wouldn't. Someone, or something, had been here. And I wasn't alone anymore. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you. I stood in the middle of the room, trying to calm myself. The impression on the pillow, the heavy air, the faint noises, explainable things. Old buildings settle. Floors creak. Minds create patterns. That happens. I repeated it like a mantra. Logic. Reason. Nothing supernatural. But my body disagreed. My hands trembled. My pulse raced. The room felt smaller, as if the walls had shifted slightly inward. Impossible. Rooms don't change shape. I told myself it was stress. Lack of sleep. Nighttime anxiety. The human mind exaggerates threats when tired. That happens. I breathed slowly. In. Out. In. Out. It helped slightly. My heart still pounded, but I could think. I scanned the room again. Everything appeared normal, furniture in place, door locked, no visible disturbances. Yet the sensation remained. Being watched. Observed. I swallowed hard. No. That was paranoia. Fear feeding itself. If I acknowledged it, it would grow stronger. So I focused on facts. The door was locked. No one could enter. The pillow indentation? I must have shifted in my sleep. The coldness? Air currents. Simple explanations. I nodded, convincing myself. I would ignore it. Move on. Clean the bed. Forget. But as I stepped closer, I noticed something else, a small mark on the floor. Damp. Dark. A footprint. My breath caught. Not large. Small. Barely noticeable. But fresh. I knelt, touching it. Cold. Too recent. Someone had been here. My stomach dropped. No. Impossible. I hadn't heard anyone. The door remained locked. I checked it again, solid, secure. Yet evidence existed. I backed away, heart racing. This couldn't be real. But it was. Something had entered. And it might still be here. Watching. Waiting. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you. I backed away from the footprint, trying to convince myself it was nothing. Water. Dirt. Something I tracked in earlier and forgot. That happens. Small mistakes. Human memory is unreliable. But the mark looked fresh. Damp. Recent. My stomach tightened. Someone had been here. Inside. While I slept. I scanned the room again. Everything seemed ordinary, furniture in place, door locked, no signs of forced entry. Yet evidence remained. I swallowed hard. No. Impossible. Doors don't open themselves. Apartments don't allow strangers inside. I double-checked the lock. Secure. Good. That meant safety. Right? I tried to laugh. Nervous. Forced. It was nothing. Night paranoia. Sleep deprivation. That happens. But deep down I didn't believe it. The air still felt heavy, unnatural. Like the room remembered something. I paced slowly, thinking. Logical explanations. Maintenance workers. A neighbor. A mistake. But maintenance doesn't enter without notice. Neighbors don't leave footprints. The door had been locked. I remembered turning the key. I always do. Safety matters. Boundaries matter. Yet evidence existed. Someone, or something, had been inside. I stopped near the window, staring outside. Darkness. The city was silent. No distant sounds, no cars, no life. Just stillness. That felt wrong. Cities breathe. They hum. This one didn't. I shivered. Something was off. Deeply off. I turned back to the room. The footprint remained. I stared at it, heart racing. This wasn't imagination. It never was. Something had visited while I slept. And it might return. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you. I stood near the window, trying to breathe. The city outside remained silent, too silent. No cars, no distant conversations, no hum of life. Just darkness. I told myself it was normal. Nighttime. Late hours. That happens. But the stillness felt unnatural, like the world had paused. I touched the window glass. Cold. No condensation, no sign of life outside. My reflection stared back, tired eyes, pale face. Normal. I exhaled. Good. Reality. I needed something to anchor me. I turned away, focusing on the room. The footprint remained on the floor. The small, damp mark that shouldn't exist. I swallowed hard. It was nothing. Water. Dirt. A mistake. I repeated it. That happens. Humans misinterpret details. Fear exaggerates evidence. I knelt again, touching the mark. Cold. Fresh. My hand trembled. Someone had been here. No explanation. The door had been locked. I double-checked it earlier. Solid. Secure. No forced entry. Yet proof existed. I backed away, heart pounding. This couldn't be real. But it was. My mind searched for alternatives, maintenance, neighbors, accidents. None fit. Maintenance leaves notes. Neighbors don't enter without permission. I would have heard the door. I always notice sounds at night. The apartment remained quiet. Too quiet. I felt watched again, the same pressure as before, like eyes studying me. I spun around. Nothing. Empty room. Shadows in corners, ordinary shadows. But they seemed heavier, deeper, like they moved slightly when I wasn't looking. I blinked. They stayed still. Hallucination. Stress. Night tricks. That happens. I told myself to breathe. In. Out. In. Out. It helped slightly. My heartbeat slowed, but the unease remained. Something had been here. Something had touched my space. And I didn't know if it was gone. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you. I couldn't stay in the room any longer. The air felt heavier, suffocating, as if the walls were closing in. I needed to move. To think. To escape the growing sense that something was wrong. I stepped toward the door, but hesitation froze me. What if it was still there? What if I opened it and found evidence, footprints in the hallway, scratches on the walls, something waiting? I swallowed hard. No. That was paranoia. Doors don't trap people. Buildings don't change. I reached for the doorknob. Cold. Slightly damp. My hand trembled. It shouldn't feel like that. It should be normal metal. I turned it. Locked. I exhaled sharply. Good. Safety. Boundaries. No one could enter. No one could leave without permission. I told myself it was fine. The footprint inside was a mistake. A hallucination. Something I imagined. That happens. Human perception is flawed. But deep down I didn't believe it. The feeling of presence remained, quiet, persistent, like eyes watching from somewhere I couldn't see. I backed away from the door, pacing. Think logically. The apartment was old. Floors creak. Walls settle. Dust collects. Small changes occur. That explains it. But explanations didn't erase the mark on the floor or the cold indentation on the pillow. Evidence existed. Something had been inside. I stopped near the window again, staring into the night. Darkness. Silent. Endless. No movement outside. No life. I shivered. Something was wrong. Deeply wrong. I realized I couldn't ignore it. The apartment had changed. Or I had. Either way, the sense of safety was gone. I looked at the footprint one last time. It remained. Damp. Small. Unmistakable. Someone, or something, had visited. And I didn't know if it would return. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you.